PlayStation seemingly made a future move that has a lot of fans rather annoyed. But is this a sign of a bigger problem? Let's break that all down, up next. What's going on, guys? It's Kalo, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and welcome to the Level Up. PlayStation, as it stands right now for this very console generation, has been rather odd to say the least. And when I speak about that stuff, I'm basically saying there just feels like there's a hole within this generation that hasn't been filled. But with that being said, we've gotten plenty of pretty damn amazing games, ranging from God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man 2, and let's not forget what's on the horizon, Astro Bot. And with all that yapping, this console itself has been selling extremely well, especially when compared to the competition. So the question as it stands right now, why are fans mad at PlayStation? Now, this latest round of angst surrounding PlayStation roots back to this headline that has a lot of fans curious. And this headline has shades of everything that was wrong with the Jim Ryan regime, and that was the lack of communication. The past few years, there have been countless times in which the company has gone radio silent, and that's in regards to getting their fan base excited as for what's next. I think this past month is a prime example of such a thing happening, and that's especially when PlayStation fans see Xbox and Nintendo recently having these good showcases and them really not having much to show for outside of Astro Bot. I love them. But now fans are kind of just left here to look to the next showcase, and it seems like we got news on that front. Gamescom is set for this upcoming August, and it's a pretty big showcase for the industry as a whole. And when talking about the competition, Xbox is looking to appear at the show in a big way, and Nintendo, to my knowledge, is skipping out on this event. And in Nintendo's case, they kind of just had a pretty damn good direct, and they could hold something Pokemon related in July, and many people believe that sometime between September and November, the Switch 2 is gonna get revealed, so it's okay if they don't show up in August. But as for PlayStation, they are skipping out on Gamescom, which I don't think is too crazy here. This would make it the 5th consecutive year in which PlayStation is skipping out on this show. So at this point, it's kind of routine for them. But PlayStation fans, on the other hand, are ripping into them over this. And this is because they've had nothing to show for. And again, the lack of communication with fans. And I think it's safe to say that's no overreaction here, because if PlayStation did have a good showcase recently, people wouldn't have really cared if they skipped out on Gamescom in August. Mainly because, again, much like Nintendo, they had a good recent showcase, they know what's coming next, and they're gonna leave it at that. Instead, fans are starting to lose patience with them over this matter. And as for their first-party output, it's been pretty slow through the PS5 generation. And I think this problem kind of stems from Jim Ryan's shift over to live service games, which in turn did hurt their pipeline of single-player games. And let's not forget my classic verbiage here, games are taking a long time to make, and PlayStation's bread and butter are these big AAA single-player experiences. But at the same time, PlayStation could have kind of quelled this storm by just talking about exactly what's coming next. Beyond Astro Bot, we have no clue what's coming, and I don't think there's a sacred rule in gaming that PlayStation can't show games that aren't being released in 2024. They could have knocked it out of the park with various teases from their big IPs, like Ghost of Tsushima 2 or that rumored Venom game. The Xbox Showcase did this strategy by showing off games that aren't coming out for a while, and I think it's safe to say fans, at least for Xbox, were pretty damn happy. Me as an Xbox fan, I was buzzing after that showcase, even though I know some of those big games, more specifically Gears of War, aren't coming out anytime soon. Oh, and let's not forget Fable. But at the same time, I also feel PlayStation fans would feel the same way I feel about Xbox. They don't care, they just kind of want to know what's coming next. But with all that being said, I'm going to pass it off to you guys. What do you think about all this? And if you do happen to be a PlayStation fan of this channel, give me a State of the Union address. What are your thoughts on the brand as a whole? What are your thoughts on the showcase? And what lies ahead? But that about does it here. I've been Kalo, I gave you the lowdown on all things gaming, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and this has been the Level Up.